A strange thing happened in a small village one winter morning. An old woman who had been blind for years suddenly started laughing while looking at the sunrise. People were shocked because everyone in the village knew one thing: she could not see. Her name was Shanti. She lived alone in a tiny mud house near the banyan tree at the edge of the village. Her hair was silver, her hands trembled with age, and her eyes were pale and cloudy. But somehow, she was always smiling. Even when storms destroyed crops, even when people insulted her, and even when she barely had enough food to eat, Shanti never complained. And that confused people. How can someone with nothing still be happy? Villagers often whispered. One day, a young man named Ram came to her house in anger. His clothes were dirty, his face looked tired, and his fists were clenched tightly. "I am done with life," he said bitterly. Shanti quietly poured water into a clay cup and handed it to him. Ram continued, "My shop failed. I borrowed money. Now everyone laughs at me. Even my own relatives avoid me." Then he looked at her sharply. "You always tell people to stay positive. Tell me honestly, what good has positivity given you?" The villagers nearby fell silent. Nobody had ever spoken to Shanti like that before. But the old woman only smiled softly. Instead of answering, she asked, "Ram, can you do one thing for me tomorrow morning?" He frowned. "What?" "Come here before sunrise." Ram rolled his eyes and said, "Fine, I will come tomorrow." The next morning, Ram arrived irritated and sleepy. Shanti was sitting under the banyan tree holding two clay pots. One pot was cracked. The other was perfect. She handed both to Ram. "Fill them with water from the river," she said. Ram obeyed silently. But when he returned, half the water from the cracked pot was gone. Ram sighed impatiently. "This pot is useless." Shanti smiled gently. "Come with me." She slowly walked along the narrow path leading to the river. And suddenly, Ram stopped walking. Beautiful yellow flowers covered one side of the path, fresh, bright, and alive. Ram looked confused. Shanti said softly, "Every day, the cracked pot leaked water onto this path." Ram stared silently at the flowers. The old woman continued, "The perfect pot carried water, but the broken one gave life." For the first time, Ram had no words. But then something unexpected happened. A villager came running toward them in panic. "Shanti, there's smoke near your house." Everyone rushed toward the banyan tree. Thick black smoke filled the air. Shanti's small mud house was burning. Villagers shouted. People threw buckets of water. Children cried in fear. Ram looked horrified. The little house, the only thing Shanti owned, was turning to ashes. And yet, Shanti stood there calmly, smiling. Ram could not believe it. "Your house is burning," he shouted. "How are you still calm?" Shanti looked at the fire quietly. Then she said something that stunned everyone. "That house kept me warm, but it also kept me attached." The villagers stared at her in shock. Shanti slowly sat beneath the banyan tree. "The fire took my house," she said, "but it did not take my peace." Tears filled Ram's eyes because suddenly, he understood. All this time, he believed happiness came from money, success, or what people thought about him. But this blind old woman, who had lost almost everything, still carried peace inside her heart. That evening, villagers helped Shanti build a small shelter. And for the first time in months, Ram smiled. Not because his problems disappeared, but because he realized something powerful. A peaceful mind is stronger than a perfect life. From that day on, whenever people in the village felt broken, lost, or afraid, they remembered the blind old woman who smiled while her house burned. And slowly, they began learning that true happiness does not come from what we own. It comes from what we choose to carry inside our hearts.